Everton Football Club have just been handed a 10-point deduction. Manchester City and Chelsea are the latest clubs awaiting judgments. Why? Let's get into it. Football, often hailed as the beautiful game, has captivated fans worldwide for numerous reasons. However, it is disappointing to acknowledge that in recent times, the sport has also revealed its darker side. Just like with many other organizations, football has also been impacted by scandals and instances of corruption, which have hugely influenced its culture. Over the years, FIFA, the governing body of world football, has consistently made headlines due to numerous incidents of corruption. The most recent example of this was the FIFA World Cup in Qatar, which faced significant scrutiny and sparked widespread protest from both fans and players alike. Once again, the football world finds itself grappling with allegations of corruption that have sent shockwaves throughout the industry. In the latest development, the English Premier League has leveled accusations against prominent clubs such as Manchester City, Chelsea, and Everton, citing their alleged violations of the league's financial fair play regulations, FFP. The Premier League's financial fair play rules are designed to ensure clubs pretty much spend what they earn. You can get around that potentially by inflating how much you are earning or hiding how much you are spending. So how did this all happen? It is important to consider that the revelations of these events can be traced back to a significant event that occurred 5 years ago. In 2015, a German publication called Der Spiegel conducted an in-depth investigation drawing from the findings of a Portuguese computer hacker named Rio Pinto. Pinto had managed to gain unauthorized access to the email accounts of several football clubs and agents. This groundbreaking story initiated the UEFA investigation into Manchester City, subsequently prompting the Premier League to launch its own inquiry in 2018. As of the recording of this video, Everton Football Club has been ruled guilty by an independent commission for breaching the financial fair play FFP rules set by the Premier League. As a consequence, the club has been handed a 10-point deduction, meaning Everton will drop from 14th to 19th place in the Premier League table and now face a greater danger of relegation this season. Everton had recently reported a significant loss of approximately $326 million for the period spanning from 2019 to 2022, going over the set limit of around $114 million. However, it is important to note that clubs were allowed additional losses due to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, and certain infrastructure costs were exempted. This exemption creates a gray area when it comes to finances associated to the construction of Everton's new stadium. Furthermore, Everton has secured a promising $217 million naming rights deal for their new Bramley-Moore Dock Stadium with USM, a company owned by Russian billionaire Alisher Usmanov. Unfortunately, this agreement had to be abandoned following Russia's illegal invasion of Ukraine in February of 2022. As a result, Everton claims it has followed a set salary cap since then. It is worth noting that Everton's financial situation is complex, and the club is actively working to address these challenges and confirm that it will appeal against this decision. This decision highlights the importance of adhering to the FFP regulations, which aim to ensure fair competition and financial stability within the league. There have been circulating rumors suggesting that Burnley, Leicester City, and Leeds, amongst other clubs, are considering filing a lawsuit against Everton, alleging significant damages and loss of revenue. Following this announcement, pressure on Manchester City and Chelsea continues to intensify as they anxiously await the final judgment regarding these allegations. In an official statement issued by the Premier League, it was announced, in accordance with Premier League rule, the Premier League confirms that it has today referred a number of alleged breaches of the Premier League rules by Manchester City Football Club to a commission under Premier League rule. Manchester City is facing charges allegedly violating financial fair play rules around 100 times between 2009 and 2018. It is important to note that during this period, Manchester City achieved significant success by winning the Premier League 3 times. After 5 years of investigation, the Premier League finally addressed the situation by presenting 115 distinct allegations against the 7-time champions, with an independent commission set to review these charges in the coming months. It has been alleged that there was a lack of full disclosure regarding the financial payments provided to one of their past managers over a span of 4 years, suggesting a secret contract contract existed, resulting in a former manager receiving significantly higher compensation than what was officially reported. The Premier League also alleged Manchester City didn't comply with UEFA's financial fair play rules over a 5-year period. They've also alleged that Man City have not fully cooperated with the Premier League's investigation. In the past, UEFA had conducted investigations into Manchester City, and the club consistently maintained their innocence, strongly denying any wrongdoing. However, in February 2020, UEFA imposed a 2-season ban on Manchester City from participating in European competitions, accompanied by a substantial fine of 30 million euros, which is approximately 26.8 million pounds. Manchester City successfully appealed the ban, and the ban was overturned, and the fine was reduced to 10 million euros, which is approximately 8.9 million pounds. At the UEFA hearing, the panel found most of the breaches alleged were not established or too much time had passed, which just meant they happened too long ago for UEFA to do anything about them. Manchester City managed to evade ban from UEFA, but it's important to note that the Premier League doesn't have a statute of limitations for financial fair play regulations, unlike UEFA. Consequently, this situation places Manchester City in a precarious position, as they could potentially face severe consequences and strict penalties. Amidst the intense media focus on Manchester City, coach Pep Guardiola was recently questioned about his stance on the situation. In response, he expressed the importance of a prompt resolution regarding the alleged breaches by Manchester City. Furthermore, Guardiola assured the fans that regardless of the outcome, he remains committed to staying with Manchester City for the upcoming season. Chelsea Football Club is currently under investigation, making it the third club to face such scrutiny. Premier League has levied allegations against the club's previous owners. For almost 2 decades, Chelsea was owned by Russian billionaire Roman Abramovich. However, due to the recent Russia-Ukraine conflict, the UK government placed sanctions that forced Abramovich to sell the club. In 2022, American billionaire Todd Boehly became the new owner of Chelsea, and since then, the new ownership has faced several challenges. However, a recent report from The Guardian has revealed leaked files containing undisclosed payments to several influential individuals. These payments, if proven true, could potentially violate financial fair play regulations, leading to inquiries about potential charges. The outcome of the potential cases involving Manchester City and Chelsea is still yet to be determined. Given the recent emergence of Chelsea's allegations, it is likely that the investigations surrounding them will take some time to reach completion. Man City, on the other hand, may potentially face judgments as early as Christmas, which is why all the focus is on the club at this current moment. However, the reasons provided by the Independent Commission's decision might offer insights into the potential consequences the clubs could face if found guilty of FFP violations. The judgment states, "We have no doubt that the circumstances of this case are such that only a sporting sanction in the form of a points deduction would be appropriate. A financial penalty for a club that enjoys the support of a wealthy owner is not a sufficient penalty. We agree with the Premier League that the requirements of punishment, deterrence, vindication of compliant clubs, and the protection of the integrity of the sport demand a sporting sanction in the form of points deduction. The issue is not the form of sanction, but its extent." So what are the possible punishments? According to the rules set by the Premier League, teams can face various penalties for their actions, including points deduction or, in rare cases, the possibility of being expelled from the league. It is important to note that expulsions is considered an extreme punishment and is typically reserved for severe violations. However, if a points deduction were to occur, it would be implemented in the current season. Therefore, if Man City and/or Chelsea were found guilty this season, the deduction would be applied to the current Premier League season. Rival clubs are eagerly anticipating strict judgments to be imposed on both Man City and Chelsea. Top clubs such as Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Tottenham may not show much sympathy towards Manchester City. However, they also emphasize that retroactively stripping City of their titles would be meaningless and only lead to confusion. Similarly, imposing a fine is unlikely to have a significant impact. While several Premier League clubs have voiced their opinion that if Manchester City is proven guilty of violating rules over a span of 9 seasons, they should face relegation. Do you believe that's a bit too harsh? Let's not forget Man City have won the Premier League 6 times in the last 11 years. The punishment handed to Everton, a deduction of 10 points, is undoubtedly a significant statement. However, it is worth noting that the potential severity of the penalty could have been even greater than initially anticipated. Had the independent commission strictly adhered to the Premier League's guidelines, which stipulated base deduction of 6 points with an additional point for every £5 million over the loss limit, Everton could have faced an astonishing deduction of 60 points. Such a penalty would have resulted in them finishing the season with a dismal negative 24 points, while Chelsea would have ended up with a negative 16 points. The current 10-point deficit will pose a significant challenge for Sean Dyche's team, potentially pulling them back into the intense relegation battle at 19th place on the Premier League table. On a positive note, this judgment could potentially lead to Everton facing challenges, but it also has the potential to ignite a resurgence within the team. It has the power to unite them and showcase their strength and resilience to the world. Headed into the November international break, Everton found themselves in 14th place following recent positive results against teams such as West Ham, Burnley, Brighton, and Crystal Palace. Despite this challenging situation, it is evident that Everton possesses the quality and resilience to make a strong comeback. No disrespect to teams like Luton Town, Sheffield United, and Burnley, Everton fans should have enough belief in their team to pull through. Weighing the claims amongst these clubs, Manchester City's judgment has to be larger than Everton's and Chelsea. Could all 5 titles be taken away? Maybe just points deduction or relegation? In my perspective, the relegation of Manchester City from the Premier League is unlikely to have a substantial impact on the club's overall dominance, particularly considering Pep Guardiola's commitment to remain with the club. The inclusion of Manchester City in the Championship will undoubtedly present an exciting opportunity for the league, offering a greater level of exposure and heightened competition. Their presence will likely bring a fresh dynamic to the Championship, making it a more enticing and captivating experience for fans and viewers alike. In conclusion, these investigations demonstrate the Premier League's unwavering commitment to safeguarding the integrity of the league. If the Independent Commission follows the Premier League's guidelines, it is possible that Chelsea or Manchester City may face severe consequences that could potentially end their chances of remaining in the top tier of English football. Now we patiently await the outcome of the ongoing investigations. So, what do you think of these allegations? Do you see Everton surviving relegation this season? As always, please do leave your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for watching.